All right, we are live, I think. Chris? Welcome.
Yep.
Okay, it
Thanks
does
for
look like
having
we're
me.
live. Let me open that tab. Beautiful. Greetings, whoever's watching us out there. Let's see how this works out. Their chat should be updating here, so that's cool. We don't have to have YouTube open. Not sure why I'm saying all that, but that's what this final MC 1.0 will be. Okay, greetings, whoever's watching. This is a new format that we're testing out. This is a Monstercast, but it's also a test that we're on Monstercast. We're going to cover a topic at the end here. Today's topic is monsters you can live within. So we'll be getting into that later in the show and getting in other peeps. I got Chris here, co-host Chris.
Good evening, fine folks and gals and ghouls.
There he is, the wonderful, beautiful rat that he is. And
Mm,
we'll be trying to get people in and situated because this is a learning process Monstercast before we go on the main channel. So this is the last Monstercast that will appear on Voices of the Monstercast. So whoever's watching this, make it noted. I'm saying this right at the start of the stream. This is the last one. This is kind of a test one. The next one will be on the main channel. That's why we have to do this entrance process that is a little bit more complicated. We have a structure that we're going to be following with Monstercasts. We're not necessarily going to be following it to the T this Monstercast because this one, we're just learning everything ourselves, trying to get people in. And if we can do that, then we're going to cover the topic, and that's the couple things we'll basically be doing. If you want to,
Certainly, and for whoever is currently watching, if we have any live viewers, thank you very much for joining us on this fine occasion. If you also wish to be a part of the Monstercast, please feel free to join our Discord, which the link to it you'll be able to find in the description of the live stream, and you can then navigate yourself to the Monstercast channel section, where simply in the Join MC channel, request entry and await approval to be let onto the Monstercast when we begin the discussion in earnest.
awesome. Thank you very much, Chris. You guys heard it. Get access to our Discord. And our Discord, the link should be. Oh, crap. Is the link on the bottom of the thing?
Did we fudge it up from the get-go, Arthur?
Yeah, I forgot because I do have the Discord link on the bottom of all our main channel videos, but it's not at the bottom of this one. But it's okay. If somebody needs it, we can give an invite link in the chat on YouTube. I don't know if you can follow links in the chat on YouTube, but we'll see. Too bad Shelves emoji doesn't show up correctly from this end, but there's
Sadly,
Shelves.
however, I have made an invite to the Discord and posted it in the chat for people who are watching.
Awesome. It's going to be a little, so the thing, people, what we want to do with Monstercast, what's always been original with Monstercast is we get all sorts of people coming in, talking whenever. I want to keep that up, but because of the security issues with that and people messing up, and I don't want people putting the main channel in jeopardy, we need a couple levels of security steps of you to be able to get in. So it's not going to be as easy to get in, but if you want to get in and you got decent audio or you just want to be in the chat on Discord, then you will have access. You should have access to that pretty easily. But you do have to go through those couple things. If you don't know where to go, just get on our Discord and just say, I want to participate in the Monstercast. We'll help you out from there. We got mods and things that are active with that.
And for new joinees, to specifically note, in order to join the special voice location where we are actually streaming from and you're able to hear us communicate, you do need to have an external camera and microphone plugged into your computer device. You don't need to have them on, they just need to be plugged in order for the system to detect them and give you access to the actual floor where the streaming is done.
Precisely. It's a little bit of a headache, and we'll see if we can simplify things. But don't worry, you will never show up on here unless you give us permission, unless we talk about that because we want quality too, and we might want to make sure everybody has that at the get go. But for now, we're not doing any camera. So, but in order to join this platform, yes, you have to have a camera, unfortunately, connected for voice. But either way, you can join the chat. So there's two chats, right? Let me open it up here and share it with everyone. Beautiful transition there. Good so far. So smooth. Hopefully it is smooth. Let me sit up higher so I can fill my circle, my unholy circle. There we go. Okay, as we're seeing here, let's go. Yes, we're in the chat. So you can always chat. Let's move this to the side. You can always chat via YouTube live, but on YouTube you can't upload pictures. And if you want to share and participate, then you're going to want to get into our Discord, and you're going to go over to this area here. We have the whole Monstercast thing. First of all, when you get out to our Discord, you got to go through a little introduction process, introduce yourself. Then you get access and you see all these things. You just say a couple things like what country or place on this world you're from, just general, your favorite monster, and what video made you come here, made you find us. So after you do that, you'll get access to all this. So this whole Monstercast section here, if you're interested, let us know if you want to be in these things. You'll get a role that gives you more access so you can be in these waiting rooms. If we dub you safe enough to be in these, then you'll be given access either to voice and or to the chat. And right now we're in the Monstercast chat. So the point of being here instead of YouTube chat is now you can post images, share information. If you got something you want to participate, like today we're talking about monsters you can live within. This is where you go. You post your images, you write your stuff right there. I'll read it out loud, exactly like that with the rat right there.
It is a
Why is it not
welcoming
animated?
place.
Why is it not animated? Let's
I
see.
think you need to be actually in Discord, clicked in it for the gifts to load.
Eh. Oh, wait. Is it animated now?
Yes.
But now it's not.
Now it's not.
That's funny. So it actually, so you will specifically know when I open my Discord window. That's funny. Okay. That's fair
And
enough.
to note, please do not abuse this trust that we put in you, folks who we let onto the monster chat. If you post anything naughty, you will be dealt with immediately and severely.
That's right. We have a wheel of torture that's unlike our other wheel of torture that's torturous fun. This one's a more negative thing. Okay. So with that, okay, cool. How many watchers do we have on YouTube right now? Do we know that?
From what I'm currently seeing, it appears to be 3. Thank you all for coming to join us, but I think I am one of them,
Yeah. Cool.
as I'm keeping attention to the chat.
I'm wondering. Okay. Okay. Cool. So, what else should we do? Do we have anything? I don't have much else to talk because I want to save it for the next Monster Cast.
Well,
One thing I'm
we've
going to be
made the
talking.
initial introduction, so I guess now it would be an appropriate time to thank all of the fine folks who are more
Mm,
directly helping us make this possible. So I yield the floor to you, Arthur.
yes, actually, that's a good point. Because I wasn't thinking of doing this at this point, but it is important because I know one of the patrons is pretty active with us on here too. So we do have a Patreon that helps to support this. The more we get support out there, the more we can support. Oh, I got the watcher number here. Cool. We can support each other, and I can get help on this, help such as Chris and such, and we can blossom and make this show awesome. For patrons, I'm going to open future memberships too on YouTube. What all of you are going to get is the full show. These live streams you will get to see forever. Um, Again, I don't want to talk too much because it'll confuse. Right now, we're doing this one. This one will be in public. Once we're on the main channel, that's what happens. Nonetheless, I'm just going to shout out thank you to our supporters. Um, and hopefully in the future, we get enough of you guys that we can disable ads on the channel. That's one of my goals with World of Monsters. So anyway, if you find us here for the first time, our main channel is World of Monsters. That's where you will see us next, and I'll have a better background, not just this green. Still a lot of stuff to prepare. I'm gonna hook up my big camera, Chris. I'm excited. I figured out
Ooh,
how to sync my DSLR. I'm just waiting for the HDMI cable.
the
We'll see.
big camera for the
Yeah.
DSLR.
Yes, the DSLR, which is actually
This is as spicy as we'll be getting, folks. We want to keep this family friendly.
pretty family friendly. Um, Me, with that said, and we'll remind this, I'm sure, here and there, we talk all topics, and I'm open with that. I just we want to do it, in the intellectual way as much as we can. I'm watching in picture, which result in my view not counting. Oh, okay, interesting. All right, well, that's good to know. So we got more. All right, 5 viewers. That's good. I see GMPF. Awesome. Still can't hear.
Hmm.
Okay. So anything else that I wanted to say? We don't need to go over that stuff. I think with that, let's just keep people moving in. And I think I'll stay on this screen.
I
Dandy's
just
around
wish
still,
to
so
make one final statement, if possible, to our lovely text moderator, JMPF, seen on screen as hackers are useless losers. I mean, don't provoke them, but just because the watermelons work no more does not mean that we cannot share them. For watermelons are delicious.
that's true. Ah, the good old watermelons. It's a shame. Okay,
Absolutely
so
share.
at
Yes.
this point, let's get into our topic, which is monsters we can live within. Monsters we can live within. And we'll see how that goes. Looks like we might not go on for too long today, which could be a good thing. Normally, these will last about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we'll see in the future. Okay, so let's start with this. I see the stream now, was waiting for it to come up on my end. That's the thing, guys, with the YouTube. If you guys have the link, because I will always put the link up on the Discord here for the next stream as soon as I can, and it will just show the default screen and say, waiting for Monster Gas, whatever. It'll be up like that for days until it goes live. Once it goes live, that doesn't refresh. And sometimes people miss out because they have that screen and they're sitting there and they're like, and the stream starts and they're not seeing it. They're still seeing that static image. You got to make sure you click the refresh button. You refresh the YouTube website, and then you'll see us it go live and everything. YouTube takes a little while to change that static image, and people always miss out on those first few minutes of the live stream, even though they've been sitting right there. Hopefully, YouTube fixes that. So remember to refresh that live stream image, YouTube. Okay. So monsters we can live within. We got hopefully Dandy here. We got JMPF, which is hackers, and the shelves to share. If you guys don't have anything to share, that's all good. So right now we can let in the voices. The other thing is, guys, when you get in, I might have you muted at the beginning as me and Chris start these out. So don't freak out if your audio, as long as you connected everything, I will mute you at the start. Once we're ready to talk about the group topic, then I'll unmute. So just bear that in mind. And don't worry about your camera again. It has to be connected, but
Not turned on.
we'll never turn it on. And if you turn it on by accident, I'll turn it off. So don't worry. You'll never be streamed without our permission. Okay. So how should we start this, Chris? Who should go
Well,
first?
given that you are our glorious monster master, I reckon you can take us into the topic by sharing whether you have an initial example or if you how you came to decide on this topic as the closer for the
Mm,
Monstercast 1.1 1.0.
all right. So, uh, so uh, let's see. We figured this topic out last time. We're at the end of each monster cast, we're gonna vote on the topic. And unlike in the past, I'm gonna have the topics ready. I mean, I have two topics ready today. We'll vote on them at the end. Again, as a member and patron, you get double. Your votes count as double, so you can kind of control and have more power over what we present. So that's how we determine those. So last time we voted on monsters we can live within. Essentially, I take that as gigantic monsters or existentially gigantic or
I see you've already delved into the depths I planned to.
Now I only have had one on quick thought and I don't really want to say it because I don't want to take it from somebody else. But if nobody presents it at the end, and I'm sure we'll cover it, and it's the mother, and that's all I'll say for now, because that's the easy one. So other than that, I didn't research much into this because I was hoping people will have a lot of tasty stuff. But there, one perception I had of it is monsters we can live within as being ourselves, as we are composed largely out of bacteria. And so essentially, or as bacteria, we are living within these larger organisms. So that's one way you could see monsters you can live within being humans and practically any other more complex organism. So that was my little quick, clever answer, somewhat on it. And another one I kind of thought about. Usually we have one topic each. Since I didn't have a good one, I'm gonna just throw this other one real quick, and that's the not the necromorph, but the brother moons that create necromorphs in that whole dead space world. Because you could essentially a necromorph moon, the brother moon, they are large enough. They're moon sized, small planet sized entities that you could essentially inhabit. Although, how long are you going to live on it before it drives you insane or makes you kill yourself or maybe makes you insane and form a cult and develop your own society on there that drags more people to this brother moon? That's where it could get interesting. But essentially, you could, what's the word? Colonize it, inhabit it with the right equipment. Chris, how informed are you on the Dead Space and Brother Moons and understanding of what I'm talking about?
Well, I have reviewed all of the lore videos that you have made on the necromorphic race on the World of Monsters channel, and they are a fantastic view. So I highly recommend to any viewers, both present and in future, to go visit and look up that particular playlist, as it is quite informative. And so I know what you mean, where a brother moon is formed, as far as I recall, when a marker has caused all of the biomass on a planet to turn into necromorphs, at which point it forces them to coalesce around the marker itself as a core, you could say, causing all of that flesh to build up a biomass until it forms a brother moon, which then floats off into space and begins producing its own markers that it sends out. And
There you go.
as the real killer has mentioned in the monster chat, a monster you can live inside is not forcibly only physical, so the Matrix could be a monster you can live within, which is a
Exactly.
technically correct statement. And if you want to go even deeper under the skin. Considering how many people would say that humans ourselves are quite monstrous, you are technically already living in the skin of a monster.
Especially being human. Beautiful. So that's how I'm going to start this out. And glad you made that point. Again, there are shelves, as that's what I was kind of meaning. That it doesn't necessarily just mean large creature or large in physical form. So, for you guys that are in chat, especially on YouTube, you guys can share anytime because it's kind of hard to say, "Hey, who wants to go next?" You guys in text actually just share anytime, and when we see it, we'll read your share on the monster we can live within. I think for now, I'll pass it off to Chris and see where it goes from there.
Well, I thank you, good sir. In terms of an initial submission, I decided to go with a bit of a classic. I know we spent quite a bit of time talking about how it doesn't just mean large and just a large creature you can live within, but I think that when you say large creature you can live within, there is one that comes to everyone's mind almost by default, given its popularity in modern day folklore. That being Monstro, the whale from Pinocchio. It's a bit tame, especially in comparison to something to a Brother Moon, but it is a fascinating start to it. Though I believe in the original book it is the terrible dogfish, but I think a whale is more believable than just a regular old fish. You may call this mammal supremacy preference on my part, but I shall proceed with the killer whale, as it was the whale's whale, as mentioned in by bystander in the story, that is capable of swallowing entire ships. And it was large enough for Pinocchio and his father to make temporary lodging within the whale, and they would even feed off of the massive schools of fish that it would swallow whole. Until eventually, deciding to, actually live, they start a fire, causing the whale to sneeze them out and narrowly escaping its clutches once again after being sneezed out.
Nice. So, in the book, originally, it wasn't a whale, it was more ambiguous of a creature.
It was called the Terrible Dogfish, I believe, which I believe this is an artist's rendition that I have available here, where it was just a really big fish, as can be noted.
Interesting.
Though I
Okay.
believe that may have been because at the time of its writing, I believe whales were not as prominent in the mind's eye of the general public. So a giant fish seemed more plausible. But later on, when the whole whale blubber hunting started, tragic, but it's a thing that happened. That's when I think it was updated, at least for the movie rendition of the story, to be a whale.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. That's good to know. So, essentially, it's just big enough and apparently not toxic enough within so that we can live within. Awesome.
Well, it is a fun fact that you can technically, possibly, live within a blue whale, the currently biggest known animal to be alive on the planet Earth, since its arteries, although I'm not sure if it was just the arteries or the veins, but the arteries definitely, are big enough for a full grown human to swim within. The only problem with that is, and it's also something that people who are afraid of being swallowed by whales while going out swimming, is that whales actually have a very small throat. So you are literally too big for them to swallow you, as they mainly feed on krill and plankton, which they filter through their brush teeth. I don't know what exactly the correct term is,
Right.
but yeah, if you ever get swallowed by a whale, it is advisable to, of course, protect your organs by putting your hands close to your body and maybe tucking in, but you would not be swallowed by the whale. So you just have to wait, as in the story of Pinocchio, for the gag reflex to force you out. Watch out for the tongue because that thing weighs as much as a bus, I believe. So it may crush you accidentally.
The tongue. You mean the tongue with the brush thingies?
I know the brush thingies are its teeth. The whales do have normal tongues.
Oh, they do. Can we get an image of that?
Yes.
I'd like to see that in action.
Whale
Some
tongue,
whale tongue action.
safe for work.
Swim in it. Yeah, good stuff.
And yes, you can indeed swim in the blood vessels, specifically the arteries of a blue whale. Now, this is not a blue whale, it's a humpback whale, I believe, but it's a depiction of its mouth. You can see how the brush things are its teeth, basically, and in the bottom you have the tongue, which has deflated.
Okay. Yeah,
And I think
not
this is
sure if I never.
one on the. No, Google does not like this file to be shared. Okay. Well, I would just say you can safely Google whale tongue, safe for work. There isn't anything naughty that pops up when you look
Good,
into
good.
it.
All right. Well, that's beautiful. We'll give Chris a bit of cheering for that. There we go.
Thank you.
We'll turn it down a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that was beautiful. Very magical. Very magical. Okay. We'll keep this cheesy, but improve on it. But we got to keep things cheesy. The cheese must be strong with these. Cool.
Delicious.
So what else, Chris?
Well, depending on how existential you want to get, the vast infinite expanse of the cosmos would technically count as a monster, as its simple sheer size and nebulousness that we exist within, being an insignificant speck, our very planet being a near insignificant speck. That puts it in more in the realm of the how do you say metaphysical, the un how I forgot the English word.
Existential.
Yeah, the
Um,
existential dread of it, as JMPF says that he would rather not Google tongues of whales. That is a perfectly reasonable decision to make, JMPF. I commend you to it. And of course, if we want to put it to expand on the existentialness of it to be more fantastical, we do always have Azathoth, the stupid dreaming god of Lovecraftian mythos, as our entire existence, the vast expanse of the cosmos and whatnot, it all exists in his dream. And if he wakes up, everything ceases to be, basically.
hmm, that's a good one. That's a good one. Forgot about that. Essentially, the being the realm itself. Awesome. All right. Over there we got Dandy. If you got something to share, throw it up anytime. Shelves, you got something? Throw it up. JMPF, throw it up. Anybody else? Throw it up. As well as on YouTube chat. Let's see if we got anything going on there. I'd rather not, just in case.
Yeah, this is in
There
reference
we
to the
go. I
tongues.
can do that. I'd rather not, says JM. All
Oh,
right,
the
just
real player
practice.
has posted us a bit of a treat of the mechanical variety.
Ooh, okay. All right. Let's see where this is going. Let's do a drum roll. There we go. Yeah. We gotta be professional about this what's it called? Silence.
I am a
Dead
big circle on the screen.
dead noise. Bed what is it
Oh, I'm
called?
small now.
When the there you go. When the stream goes silent, what is that?
Dead
Dead
air.
dead air, yes. We gotta make sure we manage our dead air as best as possible. So
Hmm.
we're still waiting for him. Okay, we got Metal Gears, maybe. The main thing to consider is to live inside a monster, it needs to be symbiotic. Possibly, because symbiotic would mean that it has to be in some way in sync with you. But actually, yeah, using the word even symbiotic generally, like it just provides you with the means to live. It doesn't necessarily have to be in contact with you or biologically connected. That's symbiotic as well. I mean, if you got a entity, a let's say a transformer, since we're on that topic, creature, a giant transformer like from the movie and the series Transformers, but it has a kitchen within that provides you with all means necessary and air. So if it can go to space and it keeps feeding you this air, so that is in a sense also symbiotic, although not really biologically. So good point there. Shelves also says because if you are parasitic, you will either kill your host or be killed by its antibodies, possibly, depending on that relationship, right? So mechs will work well. Yeah, good point. With mechs. Mm-mm. Is there anything, because I know anime touches upon this a lot, different animes and movies. Is there one, because I've seen huge, traveling markets and things like that, huge entities that people live on. Is there anything that's more closer to living that we've seen in anime? I don't know. Do you guys
Hmm.
recall anything like that?
I'm trying to rack my brain, but usually the ones I watch don't feature creatures you tend to live in. It's a
Mm,
very niche concept, you could say.
okay.
Being on the topic of mechs, the first one that immediately came to my mind is Gurren Lagann, as in that particular show, they do feature quite large mechs the size of galaxies. How anyone could find enough raw material to build a mech suit out of it is beyond me, but it's a thing that exists.
Nice. And
And
welcome,
just a
Cloud.
quick yes, welcome to Cloud. We are talking about monsters that you can live within.
Cloud is one of our supporters. So huzzah to Cloud. We'll give him a cheer and just a zoinks because he's back. There we go. Hey, that's a personal find. That zoinks. I clipped that out for some video I did one time in the past. You know what? Let's have a little bit of fun while you guys fill out more info there and stuff. Let's go over our audio bits just for the hell of it, because why not? I think the viewers might find this entertaining. So we have the
Hmm.
cool countdown that we heard at the beginning
10,
with the voice I
9,
wish I had.
8, 7.
Oh, don't we
Okay.
all?
This is for, well, here's a ding. Oh yeah, it's a strong ding. If anybody knows where that's from, let's see. Because if you've heard it before, you will know exactly what game that is from. All right.
Rejoicing.
Anybody know where that's from?
And there was much rejoicing. I
Yeah,
want to say Monty Python, but yeah, is that from the Quest for the Holy Grail by Monty Python? Am I
it
recognizing
is,
from someplace
Chris.
else?
You got it.
Huzzah!
I got to clip it
Rejoicing.
out a little better, so we just get the yay.
10
The
points to
music,
Slytherin.
the music portion at the end is okay. It's just that beginning we need to cut out.
Mhm.
Rejoicing.
Joyce, yeah, got to cut that out. But we got that. Um, next, got a siren. I don't know what we're gonna use this for, but I clipped it out. This is the Silent Hill movie siren. There's also the Silent Hill game siren, which is a different siren sound. We'll see what we'll use that for. It's a creepy sound. Could be useful. Of course, this. Got everybody.
Creepier sound.
Yeah. Then here. Again, not too clean because it's out of the show. But once we get an audio person or Chris gets on audio in the future, we can start cleaning these clips out too and making it sound better. There we go. Of course, that one.
The way that drum roll went, it reminded me a lot of the mid-episode, like a commercial tune that was used for when Usopp's wanted poster was featured in early One Piece.
In the early one. Okay. I have no
Yes.
idea, but I know what you're referring to at least. Okay. Is there something specific about the drum roll that
As
the
I remember, that particular tune went drum roll and then. I'm not going to look up the actual thing because we don't want to get copyright struck. And I also might just be weird with hearing wise, but it is it reminds me just as we have a JMPF asking for scary submissions.
scary
If you
submission?
have any, do feel free to add them in the Monstercast chat.
Right, unless he's referring to one of the sound effects, like the Silent Hill. But yeah, that's what that would be for, maybe. Um,
Um, yes, as Z, for the viewers at home who are not familiar, you might want to check on our previous Monstercast, as this is a fan favorite character, dare I say, who has featured along with us. On Z is
oh,
indisposed in this specific time.
Chris is cutting out a little bit. Well, speaking of which, it is right over here. There we go. This is the heartfelt moment. We used to play this with C, and I think we'll keep that up because when C speaks, it sounds very passionate. And so when I play that in the background, it just goes together well and feels good. Let's see. Cloud Lambert says cheering sounds like people screaming when they see a shark, like one in the chat. We need a good screaming one. Let's see here. So let me finish with what I got. We got fail, right? Yeah, like some of my jokes, that'll work. There we go. The gong. I said every time JMPF enters the room, I'll play that. I think that's fitting. I mean, just look at JMPF. Let's take a look. I was speaking about Siren Sound. Yep, that's what I figured, JM. But that's JM right there. Chris popped out for a moment. We'll get him back in, I'm sure. So JM, every time you enter the chat, there we go. We got our magical sound. Oh, so far, this is fun. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Once we get a larger presence out there. Oh,
My apologies. My internet was briefly assassinated. It has been
it's all good.
resuscitated.
At least that was smooth. That was all smooth. You figured it out. We can help other people, and I was entertaining enough, I think, with these sounds. So let's go on. We got magic. There we go. Of course, if you got a good joke, then you get. There we go. I'll have to find a better one. Yeah, that one's a little bit slow. Okay, and then we got this one. Oh, it's still going. Good times, good times. Then we got this one. So it depends how good your joke is with what you get, and I'm gonna have to figure these out. These are very distracting for me to get. I love running these clips and sounds, but while I'm talking and everything's running, when Chris is talking and I'm looking at this, it's hard for me to listen to what people are saying doing this. So yeah, eventually we'll get Chris on this or somebody to just manage these sounds and add more to the library of sounds from our own voices, from funny stuff we hear out in public, such as what is a good example? Something Trump said, something somebody funny said somewhere that we can use. So I get influence and inspiration from a particular podcast I watch. Some people may not like it. I'm not going to bring it up, but I do get a lot of ideas from it, and they're very good with these sound effects, and it makes the show very entertaining. And hopefully, again, the point of these monster casts is to keep it informative and entertaining or amusing. if we can mix that together like a good teacher should, um, if we could do that, I think we've accomplished, and we can be proud of ourselves. Okay, let's finish these off. This is me talking too long right there. And then people not enjoying because I'm getting off track. We got that. And then me stubbing my toe. No.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a whole crowd thing. Ooh, this is
Okay.
like somebody says that painful sting. That painful reality. Okay,
Just the
so
mention
that's where
of
we're
that
at.
infused me with physical pain,
Yes.
phantom pain.
Any other sounds? We'll see where we're at. But we got our outro, and I still need to figure out the main show's intro music and all that. Anyway, long enough distracted. Let's go back to seeing where we're at with other people that want to share their stuff. So let's see. We were talking about mechs last time. We're on the topic of monsters you can live within. Okay, so sounds like a parasite, but I don't think it counts. Yeah, that's kind of what I mentioned at the beginning with bacteria composing so much of us and ourselves being not. When you say yourself and you refer to yourself, you got to remember you're referring to yourself and what is it, millions of bacteria or microorganisms that compose you. So you're not really, you can call yourself we. I like to refer to myself as we, as Venom does with that symbiotic relationship, because really you are a we. So maybe, maybe that'll help the world with this whole gender thing and people having issues. Let's just all call ourselves we. I think that's fair. I
I'm
think that's
suddenly reminded of the biblical quote, I believe it is: "We are legion, for we are many."
Is that biblical?
I remember it from the original Ghost Rider movie with Nicolas Cage, but I'm pretty sure it's a
Hmm,
reference to a demon in the Bible. Don't quote me on
interesting.
that.
Because
Quote
that's
me as it being from the Ghost Rider movie. That one I know for sure.
okay. Fair enough. Because that's something we've heard here and there, and I do wonder if that's originally from an old script. All right.
Well, ironically enough, this quote also fits in with today's topic, as it specifically in the Ghost Rider film, which it's cheese. I love it. Sue me. It is spoken by the quote unquote son of the devil called Blackheart. Kind of cringe, I know. Who at the time enacts the contract with the city of San Venganza, and has all of the souls of that city imbued into him, giving him tremendous power. So you have the aspect of souls of people living inside of a monster, a spawn of the devil, and hence why he transforms into something more powerful and calls himself a legion, and that's where the quote comes.
Gotcha. Sorry about wrong laugh, Chris. I wanted to give you the evilish laugh as you were talking about that. There we go.
That sounds mocking.
As Chris.
Ah,
Yes.
hey, JPF, thank you for finding the image.
There we go.
Yeah, the special effects don't
Right.
hold up, but anyway.
And those $1 million abs that Nicolas Cage had in the movie because they were CGI abs. Interesting little fact
He had
tidbit.
his shirt off in the movie?
He did, and he looked awesome. And I remember when I first saw that, I was like, that is awesome. That is one of the most ripped people I've seen on camera, other than like Bruce Lee in the past. He looked awesome. And then later, years later, when I was researching stuff, I realized that those abs were CGI abs. But I mean, the rest of him is very ripped. And I mean lean. It's just impressive when you cut down your body fat to that level. But yeah,
Spectacular results.
it's some of the most expensive abs in the world. Um, okay, let's move along here. Oh yes, where was I? So drawing up blanks says Dandy. All my possible choices got taken. So I'm going to mention one that I strayed away from because I thought somebody else would, and which is Gaia, Mother Earth. I figured that'd be the
Oh,
one people would all jump to
that's what
first.
you meant with mother.
Yes, yes, the mother. So good old Gaia and the different representations of Gaia out there. If you guys want to throw up some images of Gaia, that'd be cool. I do that in the future, but I'm not gonna distract myself anymore. Um, the different representations. Because let's see, there's some cool artwork out there. One thing that also comes to my mind is the movie Mother, which is a very cool abstract type of movie. It's about a couple that goes to this vacation home or something in the middle of kind of nowhere, and then just people start arriving. Um, and if you don't know what it's about, it's very interesting. And I don't want to ruin it. I sort of am. So hopefully you won't watch it until you forget what I just said. When you do watch it, don't research what it's about, but it's called Mother, and you can kind of jump to the conclusion, but not necessarily. It doesn't give it away what the symbolism in the movie is. As you go through it, then it starts to give it more, but it's not that like in your face. This is what we're trying to show you. But essentially, what it is that house is Earth, like Mother Earth. That's why it's called Mother.
Hmm.
And then you have humanity coming in, and then you have humanity and a religion, and then technology, and all these things. And it just affects this couple, and it makes their life hell over there. And they're kind of I don't remember now, but they were kind of the representation of humanity or something like that. Or the first humans, maybe Adam and Eve, maybe more biblical from there. But that was a very cool movie. I do advise checking it out. I do want to watch it again, and that's Mother. So good old Gaia and all their various representations as being the earth itself or holding the earth. Um, or being again earth itself, but she doesn't really have a form, but you can see her face all throughout. You can see her face in the clouds and the trees, things like that. I think Gaia is a very fun concept, and I think if you're going to have any thing of worship, I've I can what is that called when you worship idols or statues? I forgot. But if you're going to have anything like that, then have Gaia in your house. I think that's a cool, colorful, beautiful thing, and you don't have to be, um, specifically in a path of worship to believe in that. But it's just a cool thing to show. I'm saying that because it's very trendy for people to have like Buddhism symbolism in their house. I mean, even we have things from other people that we got with the Buddha. It's a reminder of just relaxation and balance, and people that aren't religious are Buddhist. Just a sec, they're coming to get me. I hope that's not coming
Uh-oh.
through. Okay, was that siren coming through?
Yes,
Okay, okay.
it is
I'll keep my
mildly
doors
audible.
closed. So yeah, very much Buddha and all that. Even people that aren't religious or in that religion often have that, and it's become a trendy thing. You see it at home stores all over. But I say, let's go with Gaia. Let's start seeing more Gaia imagery in houses, because in essence, you're just respecting our Earth and the biology on it and life. So what else? Killer. Let me see. Shelves. You posted. Oh, and I did an update about the contest. I'm gonna do an update on that very
Mm.
soon. Ooh, I like that post, Shelves. It's a very Kingdom Death
Ooh,
reminiscent.
that screams Japanese to me.
Mhm.
I've
I like
dabbled
it.
with a bit of the yokai lore, so yeah.
If you would call this living, it looks like yeah. I don't know. It depends on the lore there, but if those heads, if you're kind of stuck in this eternal reality, kind of this hell, that looks pretty fun of a concept to work with. That's cool. I like it.
Mm,
Do we have a
definitely
sound
am.
effect for that? Nope. And it's
Ooh.
too late. All right, we got Dandy.
Ooh.
And I got one more that I was saving, actually. So it's moments like this where we don't have that many people. I'll just spread out and keep my thoughts there. Okay.
Wait, there
Um,
was a Doctor Dolittle before the Eddie Murphy one? Huh. I did not know
oh
this.
yes, yes, right. That's an old, I think even black and white. Oh, it's
Well, it's
1967, so it's colored.
pretty
Yep.
colorful.
Let's see. So Danny says this could be a stretch, but I'm going back to 1967 Doctor Dolittle movie where Doctor looks for the giant pink sea snail. That's cool. Ah, snails. There's always something cool with them here. While treating the sea snail for a cold, he realizes its shell is airtight, so you could ride in the shell safely. If one wanted to, they could live on the back of the sea snail shell. I really like that concept.
Hmm. That is quite adorable. I quite like it as well.
And even giant hermit crabs, but just that space within the snail shell. That's cool. Turtle. There's the world turtle I was also thinking about, but the world turtle I believe carries the world. He's not the world, right? From
And
the
see, the from what I recall, the world turtle carries 3 or 6 elephants
Mhm.
that balance the world. However, there is a one point on that I disagree with, and also ties in with talking about Gaia specifically. Uh, the disk world, which is referenced in that, refers to the Earth as flat, and I do believe that Gaia's modern representation, uh, all hail Earth Chan, she is not flat, as you can clearly see.
So the flat earth theory doesn't apply. Gotcha.
No.
Let's see. Dandy said probably going out for sunlight every now and then, like a living submarine. Hmm.
Hmm.
I have like
Uh,
that's the cool thing about the sea snail is yeah you can be underwater or above water. So that's yeah that's a cool concept. I really like that world building. I had like 7 saved. Now here's another. Right, JM. I remember you were all prepared for this. Where's all your stuff?
well, we
Um,
yield the floor to you, JMPF, if you're ready.
I really like the snail. That looks because that's not CGI. That's
Hmm.
1967, I think he said.
Yeah, I think that's a practical prop.
Yeah, that looks beautiful, but I want to see it in action because they would that would have to be stationary. The face on it just looks so good, like CGI good for being fleshy.
The
I mean,
the face kind of takes me out because those little antenna, those are not antenna snail. Those are a snail's eyes normally. But
right. The
oh,
design is
speaking of snail's eyes, if I may, while JMPF gathers his pictures and details, another topic of living within something, there is this particular parasite that eats snail's eyes and replaces them and lives on the snail, which is a very uncomfortable thing to imagine.
wait, are you can you repeat that? Are you talking about the parasite?
Yes.
Ah, yes, yes. It goes into the snail, it forces the snail to look at like bait for birds, so it like bulges its eyes. It looks pretty crazy and very painful. Uh,
Yes.
and then the
I'm
bird
posting a
swallows it,
quick
and
GIF for it.
yeah.
And
Uh,
spreads the parasite's eggs through its droppings.
Chris, I'll reply since we're this is just a practice on MC anyway. As far as giving him that link, because I can't to join his this because I don't think he can join because he doesn't have the
Mhm.
technology.
I understand.
Um, okay,
Hmm.
so let's.
Yes. Parasites are awful. Get tested, kids.
Here's what Cloud mentioned before. He said, by the way, he said,
Oh,
I was distracted by a gremlin. By the way, speaking of
uh,
anime, there's one called Doro Hedoro, where a person
Dorohedoro.
was living inside a humanoid crocodile. Literally. That's awesome. Can we get an image of that?
Uh, I know exactly what you mean, Cloud. I watched the first season of the anime and then binged the entire manga. So I know exactly what you mean. Um, I'm gonna just try to grab a image.
Oh, awesome. We got our first spammer in the chat on YouTube. Awesome.
Oh,
Somebody can
hey.
report that. That'd be great. Find love. Don't find love there,
Oh,
guys, because they're rude. They are interrupting like that. Do not, whatever you do, if you want to find love on the internet, do not go to that place.
definitely.
So
Try
that's
your
where we'll
local
need a
library.
moderator to help me out on YouTube too. I think JMPF, maybe I'll give you access, or Chris. I'm sure Chris has his hands full. We'll figure out
Mm,
something. Make sure we don't get spam like that. But it's a sign of accomplishment to get some funny spammer. What did Cloud say? Is this one of the insects that turns other species into zombies? Yep. There's also the
technically.
fungus that controls like ants. All right. So let's go over.
Go
So
over a JMPF submission and I'll comment on the Doro Hetero one as
cool.
a.
Yep. That's a good way to do it. So let's go. JMPF shared all over the server. The Bad Dream House. Okay, I got distracted. The Bad Dream House appeared on the Simpsons episode Treehouse of Horror, having a vortex in the kitchen and an Indian cemetery in the cellar. The house was now very alive and could manipulate people into violence. Interesting. Sort of like a Brother Moon. However, when presented with the Simpson family, it preferred self destruction over living with them. Cool. I don't remember that. Um, what did I want to add to that? Oh yeah, speaking of Simpsons and all, I'm sure Rick and Morty. There's probably something from that universe that would fit our today's theme. A lot of good stuff like that there too. Here is the what we were talking about. So you get the parasite that enters the snail or slug, and then it's just so terrible because like there's so many things it can do, but it goes into its eye
No, it
tentacles
literally
or
eats the
tendrils.
eyes and replaces them.
Yeah, it puffs them up and just goes in them. The snail essentially goes blind, probably. I don't know how the eye organs in there, those tiny things, exist. Then, if they're torn, if it goes completely blind or blurred, but that's pretty crazy. And I remember it was one worm, but for it to work through two eyes like that, is it two worms or is it one worm still? Or
I do not know.
it's not necessarily a worm? Whatever it is, that's pretty crazy. So it does this in effect to attract birds while the snail's trying to avoid birds. This is showing it to the world for birds. Hey, I'm right here, so that the bird will then eat it. And the parasite will then lay its eggs within the bird and it will come out of the bird through its poop later, where then it can approach more snails and go back in. This makes me think of a cool movie I watched recently, Vivarium, that I'll talk about in the future. Oh, would that fit today's theme? Not quite. I do want to talk about that movie in a future Monster Cast, an official one where I do my little um, show at the beginning of these things. Cool movie, though. Moving onward, Chris, there is another one that replaced the tongue of fishes. Parasites are spooky.
Very much so, yes.
And then Chris, so here we are with the what was it, Doro Hidoro?
Yes, the Dorohedoro story. It's not exactly that a man lives inside this. This man's called is called a kaiman, and he's not technically a crocodile, more so a lizard. The thing is that due to shenanigans, and this is mildly spoilers, uh, this takes place in a world where there are wizards who are technically a separate species from humanity and come from a different world into the human world to experiment their magic on humans, which often results in very, very bad things happening. Kaiman is the one of the two main protagonists of the story, who has turned up with a this lizard head after being assaulted technically by a wizard. However, following which he has developed an immunity to magic, essentially, and so he goes around hunting wizards. And in the process, however, he has the soul of someone stuck inside of him. And because he lost his memory, whenever he comes across a wizard, he stuffs them in his mouth, and the person who is stuck in his throat says that whether they are the person who did this to him and Kaiman or not. And after he takes them out, he always asks them, "What did the guy in my mouth say?" And if the wizard replies with that they are not the wizard who did this to them, Kaiman just offs them. That is the very much so bare bones thing you see in episode one. This very scene here that I've like with that amazing shot that Arthur is focusing on is from episode one, and I cannot recommend this show enough. The anime itself is done in this more 2.5D style because on occasion it is 3D model. You have the 3D models moving around, but the textures can look a bit more 2D at times. Some people may find it a bit jarring. I found it charming personally. And after the first season, I binged the entire rest of the manga. It is phenomenally good. I just cannot recommend it enough. It's a very engaging read, twists and turn, many phenomenal and lovable characters, and I'll just let people guess which ones they should or should not get attached to, as it is a pretty violent story. I'll put it like that.
So, Chris, you were saying that the style of the anime is a little bit different.
Yes, the anime itself, I believe, is done in 3D. As you can clearly see that the different people moving most of the time are 3D models that are walking around, but the textures on them look 2D. So this is what is referred to as 2.5D
Mm,
animated show. I
right.
believe, was it, I don't know if the name of it is Land of the Lustrous. It's an anime about rocks and different types of minerals like diamonds and stuff anthropomorphized into cute anime girls. And it's also done in 2.5D animation.
Okay.
And I see Cloud mentioning in the chat that he saw a few episodes and couldn't tell he's a protagonist. Well, yeah, Kaiman's adorable. I guess it takes a special type of person to fall for him. Possibly blonde, but I shall not spoil.
Got it. There was that other show on Prime. That's also 2.5. No, or Netflix. I forgot. It made a lot of noise. I checked it out, but it got it's beautifully made. It's just you got to be into that lore and stuff. It gets a little bit deep there, but beautiful with the texturing. Okay, so let's move along now. That's pretty cool. I do want to check that out. I'm so behind with stuff like that that I just forget that it
Well,
exists.
if
I
you are
can.
not yet fully sold, just one bit I will say. One of the characters is a giant human cockroach with sneakers. He is very good at playing baseball.
Cockroach with sneakers that plays baseball. Sounds good to
Yes.
me. Sounds fun. All right, moving along. We have shells. Oh yeah. JMPF up with the. I see some SCP. So my other stuff, the Overlook Hotel from The Shining. That's essentially an entity. Yeah, and give it to Stephen King to come up with something like that. Yeah, the Overlook Hotel from The Shining. Good one. Room 1408. Good job, JM. Good library of stuff right there. If our watermelons mattered, they would certainly matter right now. Um, Artifius house from Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots house. Well, let's look that up. Can we get an image of the Artifius house? And then SCP-1569. Could we get a? Well, let's go step by step. So Artifius house. If we got an image, I could try to Google that.
Well, this is what I'm finding for the Artifius house. I'm not sure if it's something exclusive from this show,
Hmm.
as I'm not able to see anything else, and it looks it's a thing that exists, is all I can say.
Well, it looks like Baba Yaga's hut, right? Because Baba
Hmm.
Yaga's hut travels on chicken, or yeah, essentially chicken legs, giant bird legs. Um, Looks like that's
And
inspired from that.
from what I'm able to see, SCP 1569 is listed as a giant mantis shrimp.
Giant
So
mantis shrimp. Okay.
this is literally what appears on it.
Okay, so that's what we got for the image. I don't think I'm. Okay. Mantis shrimp. Yes.
And yes, I've gone to the actual article for this specific SCP, and I'm not able to see any
Okay.
images on it.
Just a sec. Accidentally closed Discord. Chat. Change the role. Just a moment. Talk amongst yourselves. A mantis
Well,
shrimp. Is it a mantis or is it a shrimp? Or is it neither? Talk amongst yourselves.
speaking purely scientifically, it is neither. It's something completely different. However, it looks a lot like what would happen if you mix both of those. It has the fastest punch in the world, basically. So much so that it's supersonic, I believe, and creates a vacuum. Or no, that was the pistol shrimp that basically can create a shot underwater by snapping its claw so fast. While the mantis shrimp is the one punch man of the animal kingdom, basically. And
That's
here we
right.
have JMPF providing a more detailed description of SCP 1569.
Okay, we'll take a look at that in a moment. A note I wanted to make is in the future, I do, as things are going well, I want to move out first. I do want to start owning monstrous animals again. I used to own various exotic animals. That is one of my big passions and hobbies. So I want to get back into that. And I will be doing updates on that animal and little feeding videos that I plan to do that I'll be presenting at the beginning of these little monster casts. Well, not little monster casts, but at the beginning of the
Mhm.
monster cast is my little segment. So that's something I'm planning on. And I will put up votes for you guys and in the Discord or the members to vote on which type of animal I should get next. And mantis shrimp is on that list too. But yeah, as you can imagine, it's quite a big list. So
You'll
let's
have to
go
get
back
reinforced
to,
glass for that aquarium.
all right. Um, let's see. Okay. Where is right there? Okay. So let's take a look at this. One episode has been accidentally enchanted. The shrimp is actually a battle armor. Okay, I'm not gonna go and read all this. Anybody can pause the screen though. That's the beauty of internet. Later and read through this. Let me put myself over here. So if you guys want to pause this screen later and read that whole SCP, or of course you could just Google it anyway. But I'm gonna go through the basics to see what's going on here. Um, so it does resemble a peacock mantis shrimp, large size and proportionally high mass. It is a meter tall. Okay, so where is the life on it part? It's assumed to work not natural.
Oh boy. Tickety tockety.
containment.
From what it seems, I guess it's the typical mech idea because it is a large contraption that you can put yourself within. So technically, you could live inside of it.
Got it. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. That's what this image is sort of showing. Okay, interesting. I like it. We got a theme kind of going here. If anybody noticed yet, and it's the oceanic kind of water theme. We got that snail. We got Chris's first presentation. This shrimp. So it's a lot of kind of creatures of that realm that we're seeing, which makes sense as the oceans are vast and for a long time haven't been that explored, and still to a good degree haven't been compared to what we've explored on Earth, on the Earth.
And also provide sufficient space and appropriate conditions for creatures of a size you can live within to prosper within.
Okay, so I want to jump into a quick update on the um, art contest. There's a little bit of a delay getting results, and I do apologize for whoever's listening, but we'll get those. Either way, I'm going to force, that was a bad way to put it. Results will be ready by tomorrow. I plan on filming it and getting that video up tomorrow so I can get those cash prizes to people. This year, as I said, I'm going to do $20 per participant, and there were 22 participants. Of course, it had to be a higher number when I started putting in money, and so now I got to spend $440. $440. So it's our highest monster contest thing. So first place will be $250. Second place will be $150. I wanted first always a bit higher, but I think those are good numbers. And then last place, third place will be I think $40. So that's how that's going to be split up, and I'll have that tomorrow. Usually I pay through PayPal. Some awesome stuff in there I would like to share. I've been doing these contests, I think now 9 years. I think the 10th year or whatever, I'd like to we'll do it in the Monstercast, and we'll cover my favorite picks of all the years for each year, the ones I liked. So not just the one that won, but the ones that really, I don't know, spoke to me, and we'll see. Maybe we'll get people in on that as well. We'll see how to make that entertaining and interesting. So that's the quick update on that. For you members and patrons watching, let me know how you're liking this new show. This is going to be on our main channel. I do want to keep these entertaining, so we do want to keep cool topics, and not just like this where we're talking, okay, next time we'll talk about monsters that can fly. That's what we used to do. I want to take it a step further, make it more interesting. So and I'll present the next two topics, and we'll vote on those soon. I noticed already somebody voted on our Patreon. Make sure if you're on Patreon, you go in there and vote right now for the topic. The polls are there in our Patreon Discord. The polls there too. And then we'll vote here as well. So you guys in the chat, get ready. But before we move on to that, again, members, you're very important to this because you're speaking for our public out there too. And I want to make sure you're enjoying this since you've been supporting the channel before this move. So I want to make sure that if we move on to something, you guys are enjoying it, and I'm taking your feedback. Okay. So on the last thing, House of Gerhardt from Courage. Nice. See, that's what I love about these MCs, these monster casts, is what's also tricky is people always start to get ideas and start to remember things that apply to our topic, and that's what happens, and that's what draws out our monster casts often too, is people start to remember things and then they add it later, which is totally okay. But if you can prepare, and if you plan to join these monster casts, remember to prepare, and we'll always have the topic ready for you. Dandy said the ocean is a beautiful but scary place. Yeah, anything unknown, right? And there's a lot of unknown in there, and that's the nature of how all that works. Okay. Chris, are you good?
Yes, I'm good. I was just yielding you the floor as you're providing important information for the viewers at home.
Yeah, no, you're all good. I just scrolled over and okay, I saw that you turn off the mic. I just noticed that when you don't talk, you turn off the mic, which is all good. I was just wondering if you lost connection or something. It's all good.
Uh, Thankfully, no.
Okay. So last one, and let me check our chat again. It's our first time, guys. I'm enjoying these, and hopefully we can start getting thousands of views on these, and these can get developed, and we can get sponsors.
Heck yeah.
Or just more, members. That's always the best way to go. Okay. I see the spammer has been dealt with. Beautiful. The spammer has been wrangled, and they are gonna suffer in the realms of Slanesh because of their type of spam.
Thank you, Cloud. I appreciate your compliment.
I saw the Duke, couldn't tell if he's per. Okay, last paragraph. Let's see. I'm just catching up on these. Let me share with everybody. Oh yeah, I can see that first now. One punch of the SeaWorld. Right. One punch, yep, of the SeaWorld. Chris, you rock. There you go. You got a nice compliment from Mr. Cloud. Beautiful. Okay, so last one I wanted to share is a little bit of an existential one, which is a nightmare. The creature, the entity of a nightmare, which beautifully in what is it? The Xanth novels of Pierce Anthony. Nightmares are these horses, these mares that I forgot how they work. I believe in the books it was because the books are fantasy books filled with puns. That's why I simply love them. I love those worlds, the world of Xanth. So people would have a nightmare, and then when they wake up, they'd sometimes catch a glimpse of the nightmare running out of their room through the wall. So it's this phantom horse, which is a nightmare that brings the nightmare to you. But I was thinking about the nightmare concept as well. And I mean, that whole nightmare horse, you're living within it. When you're having that nightmare, you are in that realm of that horse. And you, as a fantasy creator, writer, that's why we do these shows, to give inspiration to other creatives, artists, and writers out there, and game creators. You can definitely take this nightmare concept to another level. And guys, I just noticed I move around my mic a lot. I do want to work on that. If I do get loud or something, please don't be shy to let me know. It's not rude. I want to make this professional and make sure I sound good. We all sound good. But yeah, the concept of a nightmare in the realm. Have you guys seen anything done with that anywhere else with the concept of the nightmare? Anything interesting like that?
Well, I'm only familiar with the flaming horse, which I have shared an image of. It is a creature from Dungeons and Dragons, and also features in the game Heroes of Might and Magic 4 as one of the tier 5 or 6 creatures of the what's it called? The Fortress faction, I believe. And it is as far as D&D goes, it is an ethereal entity that has the power to stride between the material plane and the ethereal, and possibly other dimensions by breaching through the ethereal itself. And it causes nightmares and is often used as a mount for dark knights or fallen paladins, while in contrast, a Pegasus or a unicorn might be for a normal and righteous paladin. So this is kind of the opposite of that. And I believe in Dungeons and Dragon lore specifically, a nightmare is what you get when a Pegasus is dragged down into the lower planes and has its wings removed and is then tortured.
Pegasus. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that catch on the D&D side of things. Always good to hear it from there. Dandy had to leave us. I wanted to mention that Dandy when... That's all right. I'll talk to him later. He said I have to go, but we'll mention Constance from Monster House. And I did see my volume peaking. Okay, from Monster House, as Mr. Nebercracker is living in the Monster House. And if she doesn't like you, especially kids, she will consume you somewhere in the basement, the ground, to where it is. We do not know. Awesome. Yep, I do remember seeing that. I forgot where. I just remember watching that Monster House.
The movie Monster House. I'm
It is called
presuming.
Monster. Okay, yeah, it's literally Monster House. Huzzah! I think we're gonna need a huzzah audio clip. Audio. Yeah,
Hmm.
we'll definitely need a huzzah one. I'll have to find something, or we'll see. Alrighty, so one of my favorite films, says JMPF. I do remember it was entertaining. I'm gonna have to rewatch that sometime. So Dandy left, wished everybody a monster-tastic day. Dandy, by the way, that you see in the red here. I don't know if you guys see my mouse cursor. Do you see my mouse cursor in the Discord?
Yes,
Okay,
it's a green arrow thing.
very good, very good. In theme. Um, so Dandy he does monster art challenges every month on our Discord that you can just join, and we'll be covering in them in the monster casts as well, just looking over them quickly once a month. And I'm thinking maybe even do a little reward later too, maybe $5 start with and move to $10 in the future. In the future, we need to move our World of Monsters funds to make this show better and better, and have me get more help so I can be persistent with them. Okay. Huzzah. Hell yeah. Okay. So with that said, we are done with our nice shares of monsters you can live within, which we started the show very quietly with a couple and then moved on to a good at least 10, if not more, monsters you can live within. And that's why I love these monster casts, because we come up with some awesome ideas when you put a few heads together as a Hydra. Oh, Heroes of Might and Magic 3 board game. That's something me and Chris, we're going to talk about it a little more. We have to, but not today. That'll be in our first official Monstercast 2.0. Well, just a little bit. We're not going to overdo it for the people that aren't aware of this stuff or care, but we got to do it, right, Curse?
Precisely.
Yes.
And from what you've told me, this the next Monstercast is ending up to be almost exactly after the Kickstarter itself ends, so we'll be able to discuss what happened with it.
Correct. It will be after. Okay, guys. So next in line, what we have to do is we're going to vote for our next topic. That's one thing here. Count off. I like to show the count clearly. We're going to be voting for the next topic. I'm going to be mentioning when our first official Monster Cast is going to be. And I have to remind you guys how to get into these things if you guys want to get in. So, first of all, I believe our next Monster Cast, our first official Monster Cast 2.0 on the main World of Monsters YouTube channel, where we're going to have more than just 10 of us hopefully watching. We'll get a good portion of our over 100,000 viewership hopefully in on these and watching. So that's going to happen on 2 weeks from now. Next weekend is going to be in America, the Thanksgiving weekend. The Saturday after that is going to be December 3rd. December 3rd, Chris and I will be here for sure, and we'll see who else joins in. And that's how it's going to work. For you patrons, I know Cloud, you kind of returned lately. I don't know how much you know of what's going on with these monster casts, but there's a whole extra. You guys will get the full episodes. What's going to be on the main channel is going to be shortened down to the point versions. There's more information on that out there. So that's one thing I just covered. If you guys want to join the Monster Casts, you can do that through our Discord. There's a couple steps you have to do, but just get in our Discord first. We'll guide you from there. Yeah, that's it. Don't need to go into too much detail since we already covered that. I felt it too short. You felt it too because it was good.
I
What you
believe means
talking
that
about?
the cast felt too short because it was good. You know how time flies when you're having a good time.
So you're talking about the Monster Cast. That's good. That's good. If you say too short, an hour and a half, or what are we at? Yeah. Yeah, hour 24. It's actually good timing today. And that's what happens when you just have a few people. When you get a lot of talking heads in here and stuff, it gets pretty busy. So now then, let's put up the next two topics. Let's type them out. Chris, did I give them to you? I don't think so.
You have not shared them with me now.
Where should I put them in the text? I want to type them out so you guys can visually see them. One will be. Let me clear my head. You know what? Actually, I have the poll from the Patreon. Let me just show that. Since the patrons, your votes count as double, and it looks like somebody else jumped on that vote. So let me share that screen. And Chris, you can you're always welcome to share screens. If you need to do that or images, and in the future, I know we practiced that in the past.
Certainly.
Just let me know. And if you need to share more than one, even let me know, because you can even have two cameras on you. You can have a camera pointing at your table while you're painting your new miniatures that you're going to get, and your face at the same time, and have that streamed. That's a pretty cool feature.
Hopefully, I will have a camera for that. Though first and foremost, I do have to get a nice what's it called? The glass display case in which to put the minis, as I'm a bit stuffed for space. Though that is a topic for future, Chris. Today, Chris is going to I'm happy to announce that the real Killer Kut has become our first official Plagued Scholar, which is a role that you can earn on the Discord by attending a Monstercast. So, if later on, when the Monstercast is over, and we take off the Roaring Portal Fiend, which I will just temporarily now do to show off, you get this nice, sexy pink color as being the distinguished Plague Scholars on the server.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me, Chris. That's what we do at the end. Where am I? Okay, so people can see my mouse here. Yes. So, where is he? Killer Cult? Yep. So when you guys, like Chris just said, if you guys have attended your first time in, actually, Chris, he gets the typewriter goblin because he's in the text chat.
I see.
These are, and this is the first time we're doing this, everybody. So, and applying these ranks, which is nice. And Chris, of course, should have both of them automatically. So, Chris, if you can give yourself those, go ahead. Typewriter and Plagued.
I wouldn't want to abuse my position. I shall be fair.
So once you guys have attended our Monstercast in chat here, you get this rank of Typewriter Goblin. If you've attended one of these at least once in voice, then you will also get Plagued Scholar. And that just puts you higher in rank, so you're on here, and that's the whole fun of Discord. To be able to chat in a Monstercast, whether it's text chat or in voice, you have to be given this Roaring Portal Fiend, and that's that whole process of getting you in on these, and we'll guide you through it, and there's information on the Discord again. So on the screen I did put up where to go. It disappeared. Let's put up the there we go. Phone call. Don't call me now. Who's calling me? Somebody that's not watching us live.
How dare they?
All right, so there we go. Let's make it big. I gotta make sure. You get distracted in it, when you're live, and you want to make sure you don't put anything by accident that has personal info. So, Chris, if you ever catch me somewhere, let me know, or anybody. Okay, so here's our Patreon background. We have the two topics that you can vote for. Let me make it bigger even. Let me zoom in on that. Or actually, I should go to the website and zoom on it. Okay, so take a look at there, guys. We'll do a quick vote, not like how you used to. Just say... okay, well, the two options are, which would you rather be? So we're going to try to stray away from topics like today we're talking about amphibious monsters. We'll still do general topics like that, but let's do more thoughtful things.
Philosophical things, yes.
Yes, if even. So here we have one option is, which would you rather be, a vampire, werewolf, ogre, or zombie? Which would you rather be out of those four? First, I thought about vampire or werewolf. Let's add a couple more, make it more interesting. Or the other topic, how would you prepare for a world filled with monsters? So this is saying, if we start to see monsters in this reality that we know start to appear, monsters of mythology like we know them, dragons start to appear, werewolves, and people start to see this, how would you prepare yourself for this world? I think that could be pretty interesting. Now, this is our Patreon vote showing up, which is a little biased now because you're seeing this vote, and I didn't want to show you that, so you guys can choose exactly what you want. So next time I'll make sure I only show the patron vote after everybody has already voted. How do you vote? Just say one of those in short. Let's do I don't know. How should we shorten them so people don't have to write the whole thing through? Emojis may not be visible. Oh, I should have prepared this. Because it's all good exactly. Let's do what would
How about write 1 for option 1 and write 2 for option 2?
that's why I have Chris. That's why I have Chris. When there's too many things, you need one person. Okay, so you guys vote, and I'm going to put this Patreon on. So forget about what you saw the patrons vote for. I do not want that to cloud your judgment. Yeah, cloud? Quick. Where is it?
Sneaky.
Hey. All right. I did that to myself. And that's the beauty of it. When I start to clip sounds onto what I do myself, that's where it gets really cringe. And that's the beauty of me doing them myself. Okay. So you guys in chat, your chat is visible on Discord. Go ahead and make your vote. Yes, vote 1 or 2. 1 or 2.
Certainly, Real Killer. You can go ahead and vote. 1 or 2.
Number 1 or number 2. And Chris, what say you?
See, the thing is, the answer to both of these for me is very simple. Cut is going for the number 2. I did not expect this. You know, I believe I shall abstain from this because I have plenty to say on both topics, so either one works perfectly for me.
Gotcha. And we got a 1 from GMPF. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see in our YouTube. I know some of the YouTube like Cloud, you've already, I believe, made your vote. Okay. Those are our votes. So we have basically, I'm gonna abstain this time as well, I believe. But it looks like number 1 has 1 vote plus the patrons, and the patrons double votes. So it's definitely, I like both. That's why I came up with them. So it's gonna be 1. So the topic for the next Monstercast, the first official Monstercast that will be on World of Monsters, is going to be right there. Which would you rather be, a vampire, werewolf, ogre, or zombie? And we can explore which lore you'll be referring to as well, because of werewolf from this lore and this lore are different. So we'll be exploring that. Okay, awesome. We've got our votes down.
In this case, given that we do have a technically clear winner for next Monstercast topic, I suppose it's fine to talk about the other one. How would one prepare for a world where monsters begin to appear? Step 1, obtain shotgun. Step 2,
yes.
I leave you to your deductions.
Chris's endings. We'll see about those endings if we'll keep them up, Chris. I think we gotta get more regulars going again once we get on. We're kind of resetting, right? Restarting. So I think
Yeah.
we won't start with that yet, but I think as people start to recognize the voices, we'll start with those nice endings again from everybody. Those were very delightful. Okay, last part of the show. Let's give everybody their roles that they have earned because Dandy, again, Dandy is a regular, but we'll give him the typewriter goblin. He did show up. Killer Cut. JMPF is also a little bit higher in the tiers here, but we'll give him that by the way as well. Why not? The more the merrier as far as roles go. Chris, you cannot be bashful. You will get him as well. We got to add those rolls up because then you get. Oh, and Danny just earned another one too. I wanted to give it to him while he was here, and I like to do this because I want to show people live the fun things of Discord and how roles here work, and that you have things such as roles. So Chris gets everything.
Oh,
Chris should have Tamer, but generally, Chris, you are not a mod. We'll keep you simple for here. We won't explode
simple
your
rat.
head too much. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, you got at least 10 rolls. Because you have at least 10 rolls, you have earned the role of Bone Collector, Chris.
Woo!
It didn't give you a new color because you're already above that, but that's a pretty high one. So congratulations on that,
I am
Chris.
the Lord of Rats. Yay.
Oh, by the way, do you like? Because you never said anything, and the title I gave you, Chris,
I adore it. It
is
is fabulous.
awesome. Because Chris is in a very own category of his own, which is Vermin Lord, Rider of the Chaos Hydra. Two things.
Oh, you remembered.
Yes. So
This is a
I
bit of
get
an
to-
inside joke in relation to Heroes of Might and Magic 3, as myself and Arthur are quite passionate about that game. I mean, who wouldn't? It is a phenomenal piece of media, and still remains to this day, as I have almost 200 hours played of it on good old games when I bought it a couple of months ago.
Nice. And that's the beauty of it, because I wanted to put you as a writer of something. So then I was like, wait, what creature does Chris like? Oh, and then it hit in, and everything just came together. And the Chaos Hydra is a wonderful title in and of itself. And Dandy, I got to give him a roll. So look at all these rolls. Dandy has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. He gets Bone Collector as well. Congratulations to Dandy on that. Very dandy of him.
Congratulations, Dandy. And I would also like to make a special thanks to Dominic Chavez for saying that he enjoyed the Monstercast in the YouTube channel.
Oh,
The chat. The live chat.
Dominic. Shout out to you, Dominic. I wonder if you're a new viewer or if you've been around. But either way, awesome to have a new, somewhat unfamiliar name on here. That's awesome. I used the vote and voted good monster citizen. That's right, Cloud. I don't know what the star does to your comment, but I did give it a star. Thank you, Cloud. Awesome to have you back again. And beautiful. So that's it for our first test run. Next one will be the official one. I will have a nice background up, better lighting. Hopefully the audio was good for everybody. Audio. And hopefully we get more voices in here. And let me check everything else here. Sorry, Chris, I haven't been keeping up with you over here.
Oh, it's perfectly fine.
Let me make sure. I'll just read that after since we're pretty much done. Okay. Is that everything? Is that the last thing on my list? Use Discord.
I do believe we have some special people that deserve to be mentioned.
Apply. Sorry, guys. Apply. Okay. So those roles were it. And then, yes. So thank you guys for the support. And you guys have are making this possible literally because the funding that we get from all the membership, Patreon, and YouTube ads, I am putting back into the project now because now I can, because my life situation changes. So thank you to the patrons. Hopefully, with our combined power, we can remove YouTube ads in the future. I think that would be most splendid. All right. Well, oh, I didn't catch up over here with our chat. Let me check it out here. Okay. That's it from me. Audio was great, and seeing you guys, Master Arthur and Chris. You guys have a good one. Awesome.
We do have
Thank
a
you very
special
much.
request from our supporter Cloud to end the stream with a Silent Hill siren. I believe we can oblige.
See, you gave my thing purpose here. Thank you, Cloud. You know what's up. You know how to make me happy. Delightful. Delightfully eerie. Next topic, or next monster cast on the main channel. The first one, it will be, what would you rather be? A werewolf, a zombie, a vampire, or an ogre? That's fun. Good times, and I'll think of stuff to talk about before. Anyway, thank you for the support, and we'll see you in the next monster cast. And for old time's sake, let's play. Well, actually, let's keep the siren going. We're not gonna play the old outro song. We'll play it another time, maybe, because it's gonna be a nostalgia thing. Let's leave with the siren
as we fade into the burrows.
10, 9, 8,